Hello students, we are going to be doing a little bit of a review of greatest common factor and lowest common multiple, and we're going to throw in word problems to you. So we've given you a strategy for greatest common factor, which is the cake method, and then for the lowest common multiple we've given you another strategy where you put your numbers and then you list out all the factors and divide them by commas, and then you find what they have in common. And then over here on the cake method, you pull out what they have in common and maybe multiply them together if there's more than one number. So we now are going to be referring to this little cheat sheet here. And these are some of the words that you'll run into that mean greatest common factor, and some of the words that you'll run into that mean lowest common multiple or least common multiple. So we'll go over that in this lesson. First of all, we're going to go to Bellwork. All right, so we are looking at Wednesday's Bellwork on week 2. So that's for you to maybe look at to make sure that you're looking at the right problem. So on number 1, I'm going to actually have you just cross off this one right here. If you want to do it, that's fine. That's not required. I would like you to try this one, the 952 divided by 9. I would like you to try the number 2, the model, and solve the problem. And I would like you to do number 3. I am going to be looking for your answers on this one. I'd like you to try it on your own. So give those a try and see what you can do. Just a hint on number 2. If we're looking at that, I'm going to zoom in a little bit closer. It says model and solve the problem. So it says, okay, I have 7/4. So I'm going to just I'm going to go, there's a fourth, there's a fourth, there's a fourth, and there's a fourth. That's 4, 5, 6, 7. So 4, 5, 6, 7. So how many how many do I have here? Well, this is a whole, so it's 1, and this is 3/4. So my answer is 1 and 3/4. This one is that it wants you to do the opposite. It's still, you're going to be filling in 1 and 1/4, and then it wants you to change it into an improper fraction. So just count how many fourths you have to put there. I think that the rest of this, I would just like to see you do on your own. I'll read number 3 to you. A parallelogram has 4 sides with both sets of opposite sides that are parallel. What types of quadrilaterals are parallelograms? So just to kind of review, we're talking about a parallelogram has 4 sides with both sets of opposite sides that are parallel. So I have let's get a darker color here. Oh, that didn't work. A parallel line are 2 lines that run together. They'll never cross each other. So if I have 2 of those, well, what type of quadrilateral is that? So what types of quadrilaterals are parallelograms? So we have this shape, it has a name. We also have that, it has a name. And then we have some other ones that you may be able to list. So I'd like you to see what you can come up with. I'm going to be coming around today, and I'll probably be asking you specifically to see number 3. All right, so I said that we were going to refer to this little note card, and I would like you to focus on the words here. These words are really important. So let's look at greatest common factor first. So we're looking at some of these words. Some of those are biggest, largest, most, maximum, both identical, same, equal, divide groups, and split up. So those are some of the words that are going to help you to kind of clue in that we're dealing with the greatest common factor today. And some of the other ones for least common multiple are first, smallest, next time, minimum, both, identical, same, equal, something is repeated every so many days or every so many hours. Those are going to be things that help you to identify if we're talking about greatest common factor or least common multiple. So here we are, we're going to move on. So here is your practice page, and I again have left this at the top so we can refer to it. So we're going to give some of these a practice really quick. So We're first of all going to determine if it's greatest common factor or least common multiple, and then we're going to figure it out. So this one says Kamal has 6 cans of regular soda and 15 cans of diet soda. He wants to create some identical refreshment tables that will operate during the American football game. He also doesn't want to have any sodas left over. What is the greatest number of refreshment tables that Kamal can stock? Well, we could see that there's some words in here that let us know what we're looking for. Identical. Oh, look at that. Identical is greatest common factor. Also, greatest number. So, greatest number, well, greatest, that lets us know what we're looking for. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. So, to find the greatest common factor, we use the birthday cake method. So, I'm going to go 6 and 15. And I am going to go, okay, what number is going to 6 and 15? 3. That's a 2. That's a 5. There are no other numbers that go into 2 and 5, so I know that that is my greatest common factor right there. The answer is 3. All right, the next problem that we're going to look at is this one, and it says, at a family reunion, each of Santa's aunts and uncles is getting photographed once. The aunts are taking pictures in groups of 5, and the uncles are taking pictures in groups of 10. If Santa has the same total number of aunts and uncles, what is the minimum number of aunts that Santa must have? So we can see here that that word minimum is right here, and it lets us know that we're looking for the least common multiple. So our strategy for least common multiple is to do lists. So we're going to go 5 and 10 and just draw a line like this. And we are going to just go and find some multiples right here. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Let's stop right there for right now. And then we're going to go 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, whoops, forgot my 0, and 60. So where do they repeat the first? Well, a lot of people might go, well, look at here. They repeat it 20. And they do repeat it 20, but we can also see that they repeated right here at 10. So the answer is 10. I know it seems kind of confusing that we had a 10 in the original problem. And we have the 10 here, but that is the correct answer, 10. So the minimum number of aunts that Santa must have is 10. All right, let's look at the next problem that I have, and it's right here. Colton has 16 blue marbles and 8 white ones. If he wants to place them in identical groups without any marbles left over, what is the greatest number of groups Colton can make? Again, I'm going to point out that we have some clue words here like identical, but this one, greatest number. Well, that fits with our greatest common factor. So it's really kind of a simple one to see. So we are going to use 8 and 10 and use the birthday cake method. We're going to go 2 because 2 goes into both. That's 4 and that's 5. And we don't have any other numbers that are common, so 2. What is the greatest number of Coltons can make? He can make 2 groups, and that is it. Or he'll have some left over if he does more than that. So hopefully this little practice has kind of refreshed your memory, helped you out a little bit, and these little words have helped you out too. So let's move on to your assignment. Okay, so this is what your assignment looks like today. And you can see that I brought my little note card with me. Hopefully you have gone to your greatest common factor page in your journal and your lowest common multiple page and written down some of these words to help you to figure that out. I'm contemplating maybe just giving you this to put into your journal. I haven't figured out if I want to do that or not yet. So you'll see. If not, then you need to copy down some of these words right here so they're in your journal to help you out. So let's give this a shot. Let's go into your assignment. I'm going to just give this note card a little squeeze and make it smaller, and then I'm going to make this a little bigger. And then I can always blow this up if we need to take a look and then shrink it back down. So Let's read the instructions because that's where we always want to start. Step 1, read each problem and write GCF, greatest common factor, or lowest LCM for least common multiple in the box to show that you know the strategy it needs. Step number 2, work out the problem. You're going to use cake method for GCF and list method for LCM. In your answer, be sure to include the unit of measure, inches, miles, dogs, cakes, etc. So let's give this a shot. I'm going to do 2 of these with you, and then I would like you to, we're going to see if there are a couple that you can identify the greatest common factor or least common multiple. So first things first, we are going to read this question. Rowan has 2 pieces of cable, one 15 feet long and the other 12 feet long. For a science project, he wants to cut them up to produce many pieces of cable that are all the same length, with no cable left over. What's the greatest length in feet that he can make them? So we have a clue here. No leftover is greatest common factor, and then greatest length. Okay, so we know we're looking for greatest common factor on this paper. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to write GCF in that box. And then since we're finding greatest common factor, I'm going to use cake method, so 15 and 12. Well, I can see that 3 goes into both of these. It goes 5 times there, and it goes 4 times there. Well, guess what? There's no numbers that go into 5 and 4, so there's my candles. We're looking for the frosting on the outside, so 3. So we can have 3 foot lengths for the cables, and he won't have any left over. Okay, so let's see if you can identify number 2, what we're going to be finding, greatest common factor or lowest common multiple. Matthew goes hiking every 12 days and swimming every 9 days. He did both kinds of exercise today. How many days from now will he go both hiking and swimming again? So I'm going to look at my little note card here. So, I can see a word already that is common between my note card and this question, and it's this one, both. We can see both right there. So we are going to use least common multiple. So we're going to go LCM, and we're going to use the list method. So we're going to go, and let's go over here so we can have a nice long list if we need it. And some people like to draw this line right here to kind of keep them separated, and that's me. I'm kind of have sloppy handwriting, so I like to have things separated. So I'm going to go 9, 18, 27, 4 times 9 is 36. 5 times 9 is 45. 6 times 9 is 54, and so on and so forth. So we'll try 5 numbers and see if it works. So the next one, 2 times 12 is 24. 3 times 12 is 36. 4 times 12 is 40. Oh, you know what? I can already see that we have our lowest common multiple. It is 36. So 36 days is my answer on this one. Okay, so now on number 3, what I'm going to do is I want you to read it and then hit pause. I want you to hit pause right now and read number 3 and see if it's lowest common multiple or greatest common factor and see if it matches up with what I find out. All right, so you should have found out that number 3 was greatest common factor, and that right here, the greatest number, that lets you know that you are looking for the greatest common factor. All right, so I'd like you to try out the rest of this paper. So you need to do 4 through 7 on your own, and also don't forget to find the greatest common factor on number 3. Hopefully this is coming together for you guys and it makes sense. Until next time.